Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. Just got off work, closing shift, but hey, it is the weekend. At least for me. So I've got tomorrow off and the day after that off. So, I'm all fine. Go ahead and waiting on my ride. Let's go ahead and get right into two topics that I want to talk about. Men checking out, mentally checking out of this crap. Okay, mentally checked out men, and the issues that society has caused to make them check out, as well as solutions, in my opinion, and overall, my thoughts, right? As usual, as per usual. So, mentally checked out men. I said in a video that's getting a lot more views, at least for a small, large channel like me, right? That I understand why people checked out, but in particular, men, I understand why you checked out, because, we live in a society that's gynocentric as crap. And I know that, the past couple of I can't speak, man. My freaking brain is rolled from this shift. I understand that we live in a freaking society that has completely obliterated us value-wise. It's taught us, I made a video a while ago saying don't be a hero. And the reason for that is there's so many instances where, guys want to do the right thing. They want to do something important, they want to save somebody, but then the society's over here oh, you attack this criminal, you use excessive force or some bullcrap. Or, oh, you use CPR on a freaking chick and you were feeling on her titties apparently while you were giving her chest compressions. And, there's so much crap that you're seeing guys eat, pretty much. They're just force-feeding us crap down our throats, right? You are basically told in every way, shape, and form to not do the right thing these days. And it's really just pissed guys off to the point where they just checked out. Because, okay, you're telling me that I can't have values. You're telling me that if I want, a so-called relation crap, as I like to call them, right? I pretty much have to bust my balls, work as hard as I've ever worked, in an economy that is objectively worse, where I have way less, despite working harder than my folks before me. Not being able to own a car, not being able to own a house. I need to work as hard as I can. For literally a freaking chick that's damn near guaranteed to leave. She's gonna take the kids, she's gonna take the house, she's gonna take everything I worked for. So it's I'm working that hard just to get the chick, just so that she could take it. You're just seeing all this crap. You're seeing the double standard where it's one chick is being praised, not one chick, but chicks in general get praised for sexuality, and then they tell you that oh, you shouldn't be able to go to see prostitutes, and you shouldn't be able to go to massage parlors and all this crap. Oh, that's just loser talk. You didn't really get any. You just see all this crap, and it's really easy to understand why guys just say, F this. No, I'm not going to put up with that. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to take that. And they just check out. And they just do whatever they're going to do. And that's why I say, hey, listen, straight up, I get it. And then these freaking cock-sucking trad cucks want to come and tell you, oh, no, it's your duty as a man. I don't care that you're getting screwed in the arse from Sunday to sundown. It's your duty. Yeah, F that. No. I understand, boys. I understand why you check out. I understand why you say, hey, F this, I'm gonna neat. I'm just gonna, just get paychecks, off the goofy goober rent. Because, hey, I mean, if the freaking immigrants can come here and freaking diddle kids, right? Struggle snuggle gals, and they get a freaking revolving door court system and stuff like that, then, at the bare minimum, if you get a little bit of, freaking social security money and you can live off of that, I don't blame you. I don't freaking blame you. I'm not going to sit around here and tell you that it's easy to do what, say, I'm doing. Working, say, freaking 8-9 hour shifts sometimes, and then coming back in the morning on freaking 4 hours, 3 hours sometimes of sleep. I'm not going to tell you that that's the easiest thing to do. Not by any means. I know I don't have to do it say tomorrow or the day after that, but there are times where I'm doing it. So I get it. And that's why, again, I've made changes to my life. I've cut the whole, relation crap out of the equation, I've cut the whole house out of the equation. But just because I've done that doesn't mean that that's the way I think everybody should do it. And, my freaking life is not the freaking roadmap that you're supposed to follow, because it's my existence, it's my experience, and even if you did want to go step by step for what I'm doing, that's a choice that you got to make for yourself. So I'm not one of these freaking guys sitting around here oh, I got all the answers, trust me, just take my $500 course on how to be a man and all this bullcrap. No, I'm not by any means. I'm sick of guys seeing this stuff and society making it seem okay, I know that you're seeing this raw deal, but you should still take it. That's essentially what everyone's telling you. I know that we're screwing you over. I know that this is a bad deal, but you should still take it just because you've got a dick and balls. No. That's why I just want to say again, I get it, boys. I understand why you checked it out. Checked out. I understand why you checked out. I understand why you don't want to put up with it anymore, and it makes a whole lot of sense. And it's why I do what I do. Because listen, I'm gonna say this: I'm a firm advocate. I mean, 10 toes down, right? Of freaking pay for play, right? I think I've probably got enough now where I'm gonna see if there's a massage parlor around here. Since it's a work weekend for me, so I'm gonna go see if we got any Ling-Lings around here. Oh yeah, that's right. Trust me, boys. I'm gonna go see if I can find me some Ling-Lings, because I got quite a bit of extra money right now. Because like the lifestyle I've been living, like I said, you know, I'm saving 70% of my paycheck, so I guess I'm gonna taste some Jacksonville Ling-Lings for the first time, and I don't think I'll let you guys know on that, because I'm not really the type of person to talk about, like, you know, what I do in the bedroom and stuff like that, so I'll leave you guys in the dark unless you're interested and stuff like that. So I'll leave you guys in the dark on that. Maybe that's TMI, but I'm just saying, because like I said, I'm a proud advocate for that crap, you know. It's ridiculous that they're going to sit around here and tell you that you shouldn't do that. You know, you should just constantly put up with some cocksucker wanting $200, $300, $400, $500 dates, you know. And even if it's not $500 dates, it may as well be $500 dates, you know, if like you're consecutively going on the freaking dates, spending money on these gals, you know. So hey, F that. I get why you check out. And so after all of these issues going on, I want to pose some solutions, right? I want to pose some solutions, because here's the thing about this space, right? A lot of people make it seem like you get into this space, and it's basically like, I don't know if you boys watch JoJo, right? And I don't watch anime like that, but I do remember watching JoJo, because I remember the memes back in the day, and I just decided, hey, F it, I'm going to check this out. But this crap, like, a lot of people make it seem like you understand this crap. What is these freaking cops doing? My God, dude. It's no one over here. Just a cunt, literally just, listen. Let me explain something to you about, like, where I am, okay? Before I even say something. There is literally, like, no one on roads at a certain point of time. Like, it's not completely isolated, obviously. That's stupid to say. But it's literally, like, just miles before you're gonna see, like, cars sometimes, right? Because it's just empty. Like, if I were to, like, try and, like, drive here and back, if I had a car, on average in the morning, right, it's, like, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Night, it's 8 minutes. That's how empty the roads get. And this cocksucker's over here just blasting sirens. Man, I'm not a big fan of cops, but I'll talk about that later. But, okay, let me get back to the point, okay? People make it seem like once you take this, like, information and, you know, whether you want to call it black pill, red pill, blah, 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 I just call it truth, okay? I just call it truth. They make it seem like, again, like, if you boys watch JoJo, like, you know, Cars, when he becomes Ultimate Cars, and he, like, puts the mask on and that crap, he starts making his body turn red, and, not red, but it, like, changes all these colors. And he's got the power of all the freaking animals on Earth and stuff like that. And right before, like, you know, like, the next scene, like, the good old to be continued crap, you just see, like, his eyes and, like, the freaking galaxy in him. And that's what guys make it seem like it happens when you get this information, right? But for the most part, with most guys, it's like they take it and it's like the opposite's happening. It's like the freaking guy is getting injected with sewage water. And like he just shriveled up. That's essentially what it seems to do. And my thing is this. I want to pose some solutions to this. For number one, right? Because I don't think I've ever went into depth about some of the solutions. And, you know, in relation to like guys checking out the problems. Because I just talked about the problems. So let's talk about some solutions. Number one, okay? In terms of relationships, okay? In terms of them. And yes, I did not stutter. Relationships. I don't really cuss a lot, but I'm calling that right what it is, because it's just full of crap, okay? We need to go ahead and completely dissolve alimony and child extortion. 50-50 custody. You know, whoever gets the kid, gets the kid. To me, to be honest, I think 100% custody should be how it works, and then the parent who's actually qualified gets to decide when you get to freaking spend time with the kid. That's how I think it should work. Because the guy who's actually busting his balls, earning and stuff like that, who isn't destroying the family, you know, to freaking go meet some chick on the side, you know, that guy who's been busting his balls, no, she should not get his money, so no alimony, no child extortion, all that crap, like I said, and he should straight up get 100% custody, because if he's the more mentally suited person, if he's the freaking guy with all the money, you know, like it usually is, because guys are usually the breadwinners, right, he should be the one that gets 100% custody, period. And then he gets to decide how often she wants to be around, because guys sacrifice for their families, chicks sacrifice their families for their happiness. So, yeah, just saying. And that's how I should see it. Number two in relation shits, right? Like I said, no alimony, no extortion. So when they leave, you know. And listen, this is a really important one right here. All of this bullcrap about so-called marital rape, get that crap out of here. Get that crap out of here. There is no way in hell you're gonna sit around here and be in somebody else's house, be in a relation crap, and then say, "Oh, I was raped." Let me get this straight. Okay. So you're in a relationship. You are supposed to be intimate in a relationship, and because some guy feels up on you, right, and gets you in the mood, and then has sex with you, and then the next day you're just like, yeah, I wasn't really in the mood that time. Well, that was rape. No, that needs to go. That needs to just get up out of here. But let's go ahead and stay on topic, but skipping the relation craps. Let's just go ahead and legalize prostitution. Straight up. Let's just go ahead and legalize it, right? Tax that crap into oblivion, but I've got some strict parameters around ways that we're going to go ahead and handle this. So, number one, for any gal that's going to go ahead and jump at that idea, understand this. Number one, you must have a card that you will renew quarterly. So that's every 3 months per the year, right? Proving that you are STD free, right? That's number one. So quarterly, you got to have that renewed. You know, it has to be safe sex 100% of the time. You know, so condoms, sorry boys, not sorry. Is what it is. Now, if you want to do something to make her, get rid of that, then that's on you. But take your own freaking risks. Period, point blank, whatever. It must be safe sex, so that's number two, right? And here's another big one, right? If you're going to do that, since you consider that crap work, again, that needs to be taxable. And on top of that, number two, that must go on your resume. Period. At all times. So when people want a background check, yeah, that's going to pop up. Since you want to sit around here and call that work, yeah, I got no problem if you want to go into that, but don't sit around here acting like you're going to be ashamed. So if you're going to go in that, you better stay in that forever. I don't care. Cry me a river. But this is the most important part, boys. Anyone, whether you are male or female, who will choose to go into that industry, so-called industry, no parenthood. Because the crap that the kid's going to have to deal with when they've got a mom or a dad having some dicks up there and dildos and all kinds of crap. No. We already know how ridiculous school is already with the brainwashing and stuff and the bullying. Do we really need to be creating more people over here, exploding in school because some cocksucker's like, oh God, I was banging your mom the other day. We don't need that. We don't need that. So that's my solution to that, right? That's going to go ahead and solve the whole sexual problem, right? Another thing that we need to talk about, we need to make surrogacy a heck of a lot more accessible. And what I mean is not accessible in the realm of like getting rid of the qualifications and stuff like that. I don't want that. I think that's a really good thing. I think it's ridiculous that these cocksuckers want to get on you about needing a permit to like fix your roof, needing a permit to like make a plant a garden, needing a permit to do like the most retarded crap. You could get in trouble in certain places just for changing a goddamn tire if like some cocksucker wants to like report you. You'd be shocked, okay? You need all these permits, you need all this permission, hunting license, fishing license, all this crap. But apparently one of the most important things you can do with your freaking life, creating another kid and popping a human being out into this freaking crap hole, anyone can do that. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're a crackhead. I don't care if you're a hooker. It doesn't matter. You can just pop them out. That makes absolutely no sense. So I'm not around here telling you to like completely get rid of, what makes surrogacy and the thing that I like, the vetting process. I think that's very good. But make it more accessible in the sense that, hey, listen, it just becomes a lot more easy instead of having to go through tons and tons of different agencies and it's not enough of them. Make it more accessible. Because these chicks, listen, I'm being honest, I think we need to go ahead and treat this like parenthood especially. We need to do the tiger mating strategy, straight up. Except instead of the mom tiger, it's going to be the dad tiger taking the kids. Because listen, it's obvious that these chicks don't want their kids. They're murdering them. They are, listen, freaking abortion, okay? If you catch my drift, cuck tube. That has killed more people than both world wars combined. Yeah, I don't think it's just the world wars. I think it's several wars combined. Recent wars, yeah. You killed 1 billion people. It's just a couple cells, guys. Really, cocksucker. Because if life was discovered on Mars, if they found an alien fetus on Mars, the good old scientific community would go ballistic. Oh my gosh, guys, there's life. There's life in the cosmos. But apparently, on Earth, If there's a little baby in your womb, that's just a clump of cells. Yeah, good joke. Good freaking joke. You know, that crap makes me sick. It makes me sick just how effed up our freaking morality is these days. That people can literally go ahead and just turn off their brains, turn off that cognitive dissonance, and just say crap like that. That's ridiculous to me. So like I said, hey, let's just do this tiger strategy. Hey, listen, lady, straight up, you know, I'll go ahead and purchase your eggs. You know, you get the baby, you check on her, you make sure she's good every now and again. She has the kid, you get full custody of the kid. That's how it needs to work. We already know what parents raise better kids. It ain't the freaking gals. There's tons of single freaking moms. We already know they don't raise good kids. Just being honest. I've come from a freaking community that's dang near exclusively single moms. Period. The freaking Blizzaks, the ghettos, the hood rats. Them cocksuckers, oh yeah. They mock you if you got a dad in your life. Trust that. That crap is ridiculous. It is absurd. So trust, we need to go ahead and make surrogacy a heck of a lot more accessible so that guys can actually have their families, you know? And I honestly love that I can do this because, you know, I can't really make videos and be as loud and stuff like that and as passionate and as enthusiastic as I am when I'm making videos like this on topics when I'm at home, you know, because the freaking neighborhood is so confined and stuff like that, and I can't really make videos. But when I'm out from work, even though it's night, man, I can be as loud as I want. It's awesome. It's awesome. But we need to do that, dude, because like I said, it's obvious. They don't want to be moms. They don't want to be moms, and that's fine. Listen, whatever. I'd rather just remove the freaking problem from the equation. I'd rather just remove it from the freaking equation and actually have a freaking decent kid that way. Because I feel like most guys, especially like if you had kids now, like some of you, I think you guys, even though like I myself say that I'm not really parent material, I wouldn't know how to set my kid up. I would be making sure that, hey, listen, I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to make sure that you get this career and stuff like that. I'd be hooking him up. I'm not just going to expect him to do it by himself. I'm not going to do that crap. I'm going to be helping him every step of the way. Period. Period. And I feel like a lot of guys would get that too, because unlike the freaking moms that sit around here and just kind of lie to the kids all the time, a lot of dads that are like, a lot of people that actually had decent dads in their life, they just try to say, hey, listen, dad was honest. Dad was honest about how effed up the world is. And if it wasn't dad, it was probably like another male family member that just straight up told you, hey, listen, man, this crap's rough. Because we don't have it on easy mode. There's nobody that just wants to help us because we've got a dick and balls and we can screw them. That's not how that works, you know? So, you know, it's like we live in two different worlds based on how you were born. Even if you're a freaking uggo, someone is willing to bang you and willing to just give you an easy life. If you happen to have a vag, just is what it is. So I feel like that would help with the parenting. But last but not least, boys, for me, as you guys know, I talked about this several times. I think that we just really need to lock in and get these freaking sex bots out. It's going to happen, okay? AI is getting sharper and sharper. I hate that all these cocksuckers are like, well, but AI is my jobs and stuff like that. Some of these cunts need their jobs taken because they're freaking incompetent. They're freaking incompetent. It's not going to completely replace everything. Make no mistakes, my guys. You know, not to like come off as, you know, glazing, but men in general, okay? You're an economic machine of miracles. Think about it, man. Think about it. With a robot, you would need, say for example, like in the restaurant that I'm working at, okay? You have to bend and stoop and lift and all this stuff. And yes, can a robot do that? Yeah. But how expensive is that robot going to be? And the daily tasks of like, you know, say somebody bumping into somebody or, you know, not having good traction on the floor and stuff like that, making split-second reactions, important things, you know, like, could a robot be programmed to do that? Yeah. Is it going to be programmed in the sense that we're going to have that consistently? Because that's going to be multi-problem solving, okay? That's multiple problem solving. Rather than, like, you know, just one simple problem solved over and over again. It's not really likely that's going to be available for a while, so it's not like, you know, that's something that we're going to have to worry about immediately. But when it comes down to the topic of sex dolls, okay, this is what I've always said. It's going to be a while before we got something like Android 19, or not 19, Android 18, right? It's going to be a while, okay? But, what we can probably do is just have a sex doll that has an AI interface. So, like, maybe the AI itself is, like, on a different app or something like that, right? And it interfaces with what's happening to the doll. stuff like that. And you can just take the AI wherever you go, and there you go. You'll be filling your dopamine and stuff like that, and you'll have, again, something that's cool. And listen, it's not really going to be as difficult as you think. Like, there are ways that we can have, like, internal heating for the snatches, the pocket pusses, and stuff like that. Maybe motorized compression, so that we can, like, stimulate constrictions of a snatch. And listen, I plan on helping, compared to this, I'm gonna be. I'm telling you, I plan on helping. Like that's what I want to do. Seriously, because I want to help guys have an alternative, because this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to constantly be getting screwed over all like this. And I feel like if we have like some kind of alternative like this, I think it'll really do us some good. It'll really help even the playing field. Is it gonna solve all problems? Absolutely not. As I take a sip of this freaking soda, I'm telling you, man, I really just don't understand how there's no freaking water, but whatever. Whatever. I just want guys to actually have an alternative. I want guys to be able to understand that, like, you can keep going. You can keep going. Because some guys, like, they get into this and then they just feel like they should just rope and all kinds of stuff, but I'm not going to tell you that you have to keep going. I'm not going to tell you that. It's your life, right? But you can find a reason to go, because, not to be quoting so many animes right now, but one of my favorite characters, funnily enough, from, like, say, Naruto, was Kimimaro, right? Because as early as that, like, he was introduced, and I really wish they could have did more with him, he essentially felt that, like, as long as he was alive, there was something for him to do. He's like, hey, I'm not dead yet, so I should be doing something. But originally, like, as you see him, like, when he sees his clan members die, he's, like, walking around, and Orochimaru stops him. He says, hey, listen, there may not be some meaning in life, but you can find something to do. And that's essentially what I've done, because even though I do think that there's meaning in life, I do think that there is, guys. The life that we at least speak about here in terms of the human world, with all of this bullcrap that you call money, this arbitrary construct, the devaluing of other human beings and seeing them as little more than commodities, yeah, that's bullshit. That's nonsense. Yeah, there's no meaning in that. That's just nonsense and usury. That's all it really boils down to. Is this how we're supposed to live? I don't know how we're supposed to live, but this crap now. No, that's nonsense. That's not how we're supposed to be doing things. I don't care what anyone says. So I can understand why, after being hammered by a world like this, yes, you eventually become calloused and cold-hearted, and you feel like there's no meaning at all. But I don't think that it's not that there's no meaning at all. It's just that we live in a very usury-based world, and after a while, it eats away at you, and so you get negative. It's pretty much all. But I know for a fact that I could do that, because robotics, like I said, it could come along. It could come along, and there are sex dolls that do have AIs, but they're still not what I can see them as. I can see this thing in my head, man. I can see it in my head. It's just a matter of how difficult is that to create consistently, right? And mass produce. That's the main thing. Because I'm telling you, not to make this all about anime again, but I'm about to be in this crap like freaking Poochie. I'm dead serious. I'm about to have all the freaking schematics in that crap. Made in heaven. That's right, baby. That's right. Because guys need something. They really do. All of you guys, me, myself included, we just get hammered. We get all these bad hands in life, and they try and tell you to make a play with them. And you can do it. You can do it, but it's going to be a really, really uphill battle. And they try and make it seem like it's not. So I really want to at least help mitigate that in some capacity. That's all. But I think that's going to be it, boys. I think it's time for me to go ahead and finish waiting on my ride, however long that's going to take. Again, I'm going to go ahead and see around this weekend. Try and find me a freaking nice parlor up in Jacksonville. I've been looking around. I think I'm going to check one out. Hopefully it'll go nice, First Jacksonville Ling-Lings. See how it is. But, I'm hanging in there, boys. I'm hanging in there. We're grinding it out. And we're going to try and get through it. And I hope you guys keep fighting too. Because listen, I'll be honest. A lot of my strength comes from listening to you guys. Not just people in my, channel, but like the plight of many guys in general. Okay. Listening to some of you who've been through way worse, just homeless for years, dude. And you found a way to, like, you know, come back. That gives me strength too. You know, because I know that things aren't as bad as it could be for me. I know that they aren't. And even though they're not convenient, I'm going to keep fighting, because if you guys can keep pushing through that, then I know that I can too. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and end this, boys. Wait for my ride. God bless. Thank you guys for listening to my crazy arse, as usual. I will see you next time.